India and Maldives relationship from #India out to #boycott Maldives. Hello and namaskar, I welcome you all to my channel, My First Opinion. In this video we will understand the India and Maldives relations and how #India Out campaign is turning into #boycott Maldives campaign. Do you know why Indian travelers are interested in Lakshadweep after the recent visit of PM Modi and why the Indian government is asking travelers to spend their holidays within the Indian boundaries? Why the #boycott Maldives campaign is getting viral on social media in India and among the Bollywood actors? Why the ministry officials of Maldives are calling PM Narendra Modi a clown, terrorist and a puppet of Israel? Why all these events sparked a diplomatic tension between India and Maldives relation. Lastly, why Maldives acting government suspended these ministry officials under the pressure of opposition. Before we dig deep into all these whys, we need to understand the location of Maldives on the world map and understand its importance. Maldives is located in south of India's Lakshadweep Islands in the Indian Ocean. Both the nations are neighbors sharing a maritime border. The Indian Ocean is by far the most important region in the world geopolitics, and since 13th century the historian Alfred Mahan said that whoever conquers the Indian Ocean will dominate whole of Asia. To apprehend its importance, this ocean has some of the most important sea lines of communication which support 2/3 of oil shipments, 1/3 of bulk cargo traffic and 1/2 of world container shipments. Also, Maldives sits in the middle of three important choke points of the world, which is Bab el-Mandeb, Strait of Hormuz and Strait of Malacca. Let's now dig deep and understand the SLOCs. These SLOCs act similar to the highways in the sea, which is the shortest way between the countries, and these are the most proven line of communication since 13th century. If you deviate from these routes, chances are you may get stuck on ice or ocean reefs, and the diversion may cost the shipment longer time and money. So, in a nutshell, location of Maldives is such that it acts as a toll booth in the sea highways. Now that you understand what has happened recently and the importance of Maldives' location, let's understand the history, economy and diplomatic relation of Maldives with India and why India and China is competing to secure their relationship with Maldives. We will also understand why the current government of Maldives is supporting #India Out campaign. India and Maldives established diplomatic relations after the independence of Maldives from British rule in 1965. In fact, India was one of the first nations to recognize Maldives' independence, and since then, both nations have developed friendly and close strategic, military, economic and cultural ties. In December 1976, India and the Maldives signed a maritime boundary treaty to agree on maritime boundaries. This treaty explicitly places Minicoy Island on the Indian side of the boundary. India also helped Maldives to manage the coup in 1988. This coup was organized to overthrow the government in 1988 by a local group which was led by Abdullah Luthufi, a businessman assisted by armed mercenaries of a Tamil rebel organization from Sri Lanka. Political power was transferred from Mohammad Nasheed, a pro-India president, to Abdullah Yameen, a pro-China president, and then to Ibrahim Solih, who took the balanced approach between India and China policy. Mohammad Nasheed was elected in 2008. He was a popular minister and he worked on the subject of climate change and pledged to make Maldives a carbon-neutral country. He also asked India to become the security provider in the Indian Ocean region around Maldives. After him came Abdullah Yameen, who became president in 2013 after a civil unrest and through an alleged rigged election. Under his tenure, Maldives became part of BRI projects of China, and his government took loan of more than $1 billion from China in the name of development. Ibrahim Mohammed Solih became president in 2018, and he is the one who extended the contract of 2 donated Indian helicopters. He also took soft loans from India to ease the debt from China and build hospitals, and India also offered COVID vaccines to his government. Mohamed Muizu, who is currently serving as president of the Maldives since November 2023, has not visited India and he chose to visit first Turkey and then China after his election. This shows the mindset of current president of the Maldives toward India and his misleading leadership. In fact, his election pitch was #IndiaOut. The political system of Maldives is divided into two factions. Number 1 is pro-India, which includes political group like MDP, Maldivian Democratic Party. Number 2 is pro-China political group like PNC, People's National Congress, and PPM, Progressive Party of Maldives. This divide became prominent after China initiated its BRI, Belt and Road Initiative, project back in 2013. China since 2013 is trying to encircle India by promising development project and by giving easy loans to the small and underdeveloped countries. Maldives said to owe 70% of its external debt to China as of 2023, and under its debt trap policy China is looking to increase its presence in Indian Ocean. In 2010 and in 2015 India donated 2 Dhruva advanced light helicopters and placed military officials in warships in Maldives and its SEZ, Special Economic Zone. This was done when Maldives exclusively asked for India's help to protect its boundaries against piracy, terrorism and illegal activities. Maldives used these 2 helicopters for search and rescue, medical emergency and assistance in natural calamities. But during this period Indian military never interfered in political structure of Maldives. Few political parties turned the presence of Indian military into a negative agenda to grab the power and used it as a tool to come into the government. Now all of these recent events are a result of hate-dependent internal politics of Maldives. Maldives is made of numerous islands, around 1,200 plus, but only 200 islands of this country is occupied by humans and 150 out of these 200 islands are sold out to the private companies for tourism. The economy of Maldives is heavily dependent on tourism. Maldives get the biggest tourist inflow from India, over 200,000 plus tourists visited in 2023. Meaning Indian tourist ranked no one who visited Maldives out of total 1.75 million tourists. About 28% of GDP contribution, 60% of foreign exchange transaction and 90% of government tax comes from tourism. Russia and China take the position of number 2 and number 3 in the tourist inflow of Maldives. Now these recent events will definitely affect the economy of Maldives. In response of these loose comments from the ministry officials of Maldives, Indian Foreign Ministry Office summoned the Maldivian diplomats in New Delhi asking for the clarification. The Maldivian Foreign Ministry Office also released statement that the comment of these 3 misspoken ministers is their personal opinion and that it does not represent the view of government of Maldives. The opposition leaders and senior officials of Maldivian opposition party called these actions were not isolated incidents but the result of a hate-mongering campaign by the acting government. Indian official expressed strong displeasure and also asked for these ministers to be dismissed and suspension is not sufficient. But till now the action of Maldives is half-hearted. They have not apologized. Their president has not made any public statement about these events. Now let's discuss what Indian government is doing to improve tourist capacity of Lakshadweep Islands. As we speak, the government already connected the islands with high-speed internet to boost tourism. The submarine optical fiber connection has arrived in Lakshadweep, which seamlessly link all islands with a high-speed and reliable network. Israel also comes in favor of India after the misspoken words by Maldives ministry officials and offered to install desalination plant in Indian islands to avail drinking water, which will boost tourism. Tata Group of India is also going to invest in Lakshadweep Islands to build the hotels and luxuries for tourists by 2026. In the end, I would only say that the recent event sparked a full-blown crisis for Male, and it will definitely going to hurt Maldives' economy and diplomatic relation with India. Thank you for watching, my first opinion. Stay safe and healthy, we will meet in the next video.